Hello, and you have reached Lynette Clements' YouTube channel. I am reading from the April 2020 edition of the Love Exquisite Magazine, and today I'm going to be reading from the For the Love of Relationships section. And the article that was written by me, Lynette Clement, it's called Try. So again, it's for the love of relationships, and it's in the Love Exquisite Magazine, which you can access through loveexquisite.com. LOVEXQUISITE.com. So again, I'm going to read it unedited. So forgive me if I stumble over my words because I tend to do that at times. So this is for relationships. So relationships are not always easy, as many of you know. I've had my share of experiences, which is why, again, I can give this information to you from my own experiences with relationships. So this article is called Try. When you are in a relationship, don't be afraid to do whatever you need to do to make the relationship work, if that is what the both of you want. So you have to really pay attention to what I'm saying in this article, because I don't want you to get the misconception that I'm saying fight for a relationship that is not going to work, or if you're fighting by yourself and nobody else, you're in a relationship and you're fighting, just keep it, but the other person wants out. So it won't work if the both of you are not working together. So this is what this article is all about. So keep that in mind. So I'm going to start over with that in mind. When you're in a relationship, I told you this won't be unedited. When you're in a relationship, don't be afraid to do whatever you need to do to make the relationship work, if that is what the both of you want. Do not think that even if you try to make a challenging relationship work, that you will fail. If the other person wants the relationship to work, you will not fail, if both of you want the same thing. In the famous words of actor and rapper Will Smith and actor Denzel Washington, if you fail forward. You will not be successful in everything that you do. That's the truth in life. You will not be successful in everything that you do, and that's okay. So if you fail forward, which means no matter what, keep going forward. You are not going to live forever, so you cannot leave this earth without doing what you need to do to have the life that you want to live now. Not tomorrow, not yesterday, but now. Success will not come to you. You have to go get it. You have to work for it. Yes, you have to work for it. The way you approach your relationship each day should start with the mindset that you have to make the commitment every day that I choose you, and I continue to choose you every day. So because of the temptations that are out there in the world, that piece is extremely important, because a lot of times we forget that when we're in relationships and we go through different things, different challenges with the person that we're with, we often might see something else that seems more appealing. So if you have in your mind that this person that I'm with, that I chose to be with, is the person that I'm committed to, every day, you say that to yourself every day, and you believe that within your whole heart, and you work towards keeping that and making that a reality, then you'll be halfway there to a successful relationship. But again, it's something that both of you have to work towards as a team together. That is the real commitment. So again, you have to say, I choose you every day. You have to say this to your mate and believe it in your heart and feel it, both of you. I choose you every day. You are who I choose every day. This is real commitment. You are not always going to be comfortable. And yes, you will be challenged. You will be upset. You will be disappointed. But through it all, be committed to what you want and who you want. This will require all-in effort from the both of you. Both of you have to be all in. It cannot just be one person putting in effort and the other person isn't doing anything. Relationships don't work that way. Too often, we let the enemy win and destroy our relationships. The enemy of confusion, the enemy of pride, the enemy of pettiness, the enemy of selfishness, the enemy of ego, the enemy of infidelity, the enemy of dishonesty, the enemy of brokenness, the enemy of fear, and the enemy of discontentment. The enemy, also known as the devil, his job is to kill, steal, and destroy. And that's what he does if you allow him to get into your relationship. The key is not to let the enemy win. If you are letting the enemy win, how long will you continue to do that? Do not let the enemy rob you of the joy that you deserve. You cannot experience the real joys of life if you don't at least try to experience real joy. Motivational speaker Les Brown states, "Life is a fight for what you want. So when you stop fighting for what you don't want will automatically take over." So that's important. So I'm going to read that again. So this is a quote from motivational speaker Les Brown. He's phenomenal. You should look him up on his YouTube as well. Life is a fight for what you want. So sometimes you have to fight for what you want. Life is a fight for what you want. So when you stop fighting for what you don't want will automatically take over, which is so true. Therefore, you have to stay in the fight. A fight that has to be worth the pain and effort. That's key. Can't be a fight that's not worth the fight. Has to be a fight that's worth the fight. Worth it. It has to be worth it. You don't just fight for somebody that ain't even worth your time and effort. You got to fight for somebody that's worth you and your time and effort. So yes, again, there will be pain and there will be disappointment. But just remember that it takes two people for it to be an actual fight. You can't fight by yourself. You can't fight alone. In a real fight, you can't fight by yourself. You need an opponent to fight. And that's the same thing in a relationship. So if you are experiencing challenging times in your relationship and you want it to work, stay in the fight. Both of you. So I don't mean fist fight. Now that's not what I'm saying. So let me clarify that. I don't mean fist fight and I don't mean argue. What I am referring to is stay in communication with your partner about how you can make the relationship better. How the both of you can make the relationship better. If you really want to be with your mate, you have to be consistent. Consistency is important. And you also have to be committed to working towards making your relationship work. Again, I can't reiterate enough, both of you. You have to at least try by any means necessary and have the whatever it takes attitude. As long as whatever it takes doesn't go against the law, as well as your own morals and values. No, it is not going to be easy. However, if you want your relationship to work, both of you have to do what is necessary to try and make the relationship work. Both of you have to put in full effort. If only one person is putting in the effort, he or she will eventually stop because they will begin to feel like you don't want the relationship as much as they do, especially if there's no actions behind your words to show them otherwise. When you are in a good relationship, but there are small challenges, don't count your mate out at the first sign of trouble. Through effective communication, dedication, and hard work, almost anything can be worked out. So remember to be solution focused, not problem focused. I'm going to say that again. Be solution focused, not problem focused. And both of you work towards making your situation better. There's nothing that you cannot get through. Even if it requires you to change your behaviors from negative to positive, you at least have to try. By going all the way in, meaning putting 100% into your relationship. And don't go in a relationship if you cannot give 100% to that relationship. If you are already in a relationship and you do not feel that the relationship is worth the try to keep the person, you have to be open and willing to let the relationship go. So oftentimes, you fight until your hands get too short to box with God. And you fight until you can't fight anymore. And as long as you can say, I at least tried and it didn't work. So sometimes you might be in the fight and it doesn't work. That's okay. It happens, you know what I mean? But if you want the relationship to work, you at least have to try to put in effort to see where your relationship can go and how you can make the relationship better. But there are times that you will have to throw in the towel and say, I can't do this anymore, and then you have to walk away. Unfortunately, it happens, but life continues and life goes on. So just keep remembering that. So please know that if someone doesn't want the relationship to work, you cannot and should not try to force them to want to work things out with you. If you do, you will only end up hurting in the end. So again, if you try to force somebody to be with you who doesn't want the relationship, it is a waste of your time and energy and effort. So it's important to kind of figure out how to break away from that person, because it will help you in the end. It will help you heal better in the end, as opposed to sticking around and being hurt by someone who doesn't want you. So make sure that you try to make things work with somebody who wants to make things work with you. That is key. So the time to try to make things work is when the person is willing to stay in the fight with you to save the relationship. So remember, both people have to want to save the relationship. You will only end up hurt in the end if only one person is fighting, which is what I just said. So when you are in the fight alone, you have to let go. So if you are the only person fighting to save your relationship, do yourself a favor and save yourself by letting go. However, if both of you want the relationship to work, don't you dare let go. If both of you want the relationship to work, you have to try to make things work. So don't be afraid to lose the fight to keep the relationship so much that you don't even try. You have to try. That's the key point in this whole article. That's why it's titled Try. It is not about winning or losing. It's about being happy with whom you want and whom you are with, and what makes you happy. You only lose when you haven't even tried or when you quit. Just don't be the only one in the relationship trying to make it work. Save the time and energy that you might need to start over with someone new that shows you by action that he or she is willing to keep you, that he or she is willing to fight to keep you. So that is in the April 2020 article of the Love Exquisite Magazine in the For the Relationship section, and it's titled Try by myself, Lynette Clement. So make sure that when you are in a healthy relationship and the both of you are trying to make the relationship work, you do what is necessary to make the relationship work. Until you cannot do it anymore. And then unfortunately, if the relationship isn't working after you've at least tried to make it work, both of you, then you have to let it go. And that's okay. You will be fine. He or she will be fine. You just have to at least try. That's the whole purpose of being in the relationship. If you still want the relationship, you have to try to make things work. If you don't want the relationship, then there's no point in trying, and then you have to move on and let the person move on with their lives as well. So thank you. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Lynette.